The Sega Master System was released in 1986 in North America and was Sega's first attempt at a home console in North America. It would be overshadowed by the NES, but in total, the Master System saw 116 titles released in the United States, and today we're exploring the first 10 games that American audiences were able to play. There's some very strong entries on this list, and some weaker titles, but we're here to celebrate the launch of the Master System. If you enjoy Master System content, make sure you hit that sub button, as I have tons of content showcasing the console and games, including a ranked list of all 273 games that were released in PAL and North American regions. Let's head back to 1986 and see what Sega gamers were playing. Because in this video, we're looking at the first 10 Sega Master System games that were released in North America. Potentially the best launch game for the Master System was Shoplifter, released in September of 1986. Shoplifter was a port from the original game that was released in 1982 on the Apple II computer. Instead of trying to blow up enemies and kill everything on screen, Shoplifter was a rescue mission. You'll need to pilot a helicopter and rescue hostages that are trapped inside prisons. Blow open the doors, land the helicopter, and let the hostages pile in before flying them back to headquarters. You'll fly through deserts, oceans, and caves to help liberate the POWs. Not only is Shoplifter a great game, but the amazing color palette and soundtrack will keep you coming back for more. From a rescue mission to a cute 'em up, Fantasy Zone was released in September of 1986. Starring Opa Opa, one of Sega's earliest attempts at a mascot, players took control of Opa Opa as he fired his way through the Fantasy Zone and restored order from an evil takeover. Fantasy Zone has 8 different levels, each filled with vibrant colors and whimsical enemies. To help you on your way, you can buy different weapons and pick up powerful engines, and you'll need them as you'll take on the bosses of each level. If you love Fantasy Zone, I have an entire retrospective on the game featured on my channel that includes an exclusive interview with John Sauer, who was the North American project manager of the Sega Master System. That link will be below in the description. Released in September of 1986, Ghost House is a side-scrolling horror action game that is loosely based on the 1982 Sega arcade game Monster Bash. Players control a vampire hunter named Mick who must destroy 5 vampires in a haunted mansion. There are plenty of secrets to find in Ghost House, as the player can collect swords or touch lights to freeze enemies on screen. And when running low on health, the player can always search for treasure to help restore their energy bar. Ghost House was a unique and rare horror title on the Master System, and it was a very good game at the launch of the console. Oh, we're gonna sneak 2 games in here for this entry as it's a compilation. Let's first start with Hang On, that was released in arcades in 1985. Sega ported Hang On to the Master System just a year later in September of 1986. The arcade version of Hang On was a smash hit, and the Master System port is nothing to turn your nose up to. Hang On brings plenty of speed and addictive racing as you zoom on the open road. But if you're not in the mood for racing, you can always try your hand at hunting with Safari Hunt. Hang On and Safari Hunt were bundled together, and while Hang On provided the speed, Safari Hunt showed off the power of the light phaser. Players shot at wildlife in various environments, hoping to qualify for the next round. Hang On and Safari Hunt showcased 2 very different games for Master System owners to experience at launch. So far, all the games that have been showcased have been excellent launch titles, but they all can't be winners, and that's a great introduction for My Hero. Released in September of 1986, My Hero is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and beat you up it will. While the graphics look great, the gameplay is absolutely brutally difficult. After your girlfriend gets taken away, you'll attempt to fight your way through cities, but beware that one hit kills you. My Hero is notoriously difficult as enemies will come at you from all sides, making your journey a near impossible one. The boss fights are one of the perks though, as they are manageable and placed in front of a beautiful sunset. In the mood for some pain? Well, go ahead and fire up My Hero. We had a compilation featured on this list, and now I'll showcase a built-in game for the Master System at launch. For those who took home the Master System but didn't buy a physical game, there was the option to play the built-in game. Just turn on the Master System and be directed to Snail Maze. This simple but somewhat fun maze game gave gamers just a little taste of the Master System with a super catchy tune as players made their way through mazes with a little snail. It doesn't offer much for gameplay innovation or graphics, but it was a simple game that gave Master System owners something to play immediately. Released in 1985 in arcades, Teddy Boy was ported to the Master System in September of 1986. Teddy Boy has a unique concept that involves traversing through levels and shooting at enemies that pop out of boxes. Once the enemies are destroyed, they'll turn into balls that must be collected before they bounce away and turn into creatures who will eat away at the game timer. Teddy Boy is all about destroying enemies in a timely manner so you can advance to the next level before the timer runs out. The Master System port was received quite well and was an excellent title to own at launch. While some games are not received well due to how difficult they are, like My Hero, other games are not received in a positive manner because of, well, how boring they are. F16 Fighting Falcon was released in October of 1986 on the Master System as an air combat simulation. The problem is, it's just not fun. The back case advertises it as the most realistic and most deadly, but is only deadly due to its boredom. You'll hunt down an MiG-25 in your F16, but other than that, I'd keep the skies clear and avoid this game. Released in October of 1986, Transbot is a shoot-'em-up which you control a robot that can have two different forms. While fun at first, the short nature of Transbot really handcuffs it, as it offers only 2 levels before looping and increasing the enemy speeds. Players can use 6 different weapons during their quick playthrough. Transbot doesn't offer much besides some brief shoot-'em-up fun, and it lacks any reason to keep playing besides those chasing the high score. It was one of the weaker releases in the early life of the Master System. Rounding out our list of the first 10 Sega Master System games, well, okay, I cheated just a little bit with the compilation to make it 11, but the final game in this countdown is World Grand Prix, released in October of 1986. The player drives a Formula One race car as they race against others on the track, as well as against the time. Earning points along the way will help increase handling, acceleration, and top speed. This is a very solid racing title for the Master System and offered gamers a different type of game during the early period for the console. So those were the first 10 Master System games released in North America. Which of them have you played or own? Which games look the best or the most fun? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to watch more Master System content like my retrospectives, countdowns, and ultimate ranking list. Thanks for watching.